with stories that matter to you. This is Fox 6 News live at the RNC.
I thought it was fireworks until I heard all the police.
Now at 6, a gas station shootout. Why the suspect was wanted in the first place, and who's taking over this investigation tonight.
And it is the final night of the RNC, and it's a big one. Former President Donald Trump will take to the stage for the first time since the assassination attempt made against him last weekend.
And this is where we begin tonight on Fox 6 News at 6. We are live inside FISA Forum. The evening session, the final session, is underway. Montana Senator Steve Daines addressing the crowd. He just finished, and the new speaker will be coming on shortly.
Last night was a big one as well. Vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance spoke for the first time, making his pitch to voters. And tonight, it is the former president's turn. And this, of course, a huge event. Just check out this time-lapse video of when delegates were let in around 3:30 this afternoon after congregating in the Deer District.
Team coverage of the final night for you, but we're going to begin right on the floor with political reporter Jason Calvi, and viewers at home can guess which delegation you're standing in front of.
Yeah, that's right, Ted. No question about where we're standing right now. This is the Wisconsin delegation. The people here told me they added the cheesehead hats because they wanted to compete with Texas, which was waving around their cowboy hats. A lot of the members of the Texas delegation wore those cowboy hats. Now we've got the cheesehead hats right here in the Wisconsin delegation. Now, we did speak to two of former President Donald Trump's sons who gave us a little preview of tonight's speech from the former president, and they described that it's been completely rewritten after that assassination attempt on Saturday. They also talk about how it's going to have a positive theme, and so that's what they're previewing is going to happen tonight. Republicans here at the RNC have called for Republican unity. Some of former competitors in the RNC or the Republican competition for president have shared that message here. And tonight we're expecting the president to call for overall national unity. He'll be right here on this stage. And close to that stage, just feet from him, will be the Wisconsin delegation seated to his left. It's the third time Donald Trump will accept the GOP nomination, this time in Milwaukee at FISA Forum. His sons have talked about how this speech has changed since the assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump on Saturday.
Well, I worked on the speech with him on Friday, the original speech, and I know that's been thrown in the waste paper baskets.
I read parts of it, and I heard parts of it, and it was beautiful. And again, as I said, it's a positive speech, but it's also an America First speech because, as I just said, nothing's working.
And that is Eric Trump, who will be speaking on the main stage right here to our right. This is the main stage this is the stage where we'll hear from Eric Trump. We're also going to hear from former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. And also on that stage will be professional wrestler, legend Hulk Hogan. Ted and Steph?
It is quite the night for sure. You know, Jason, earlier today on our Conventional Wisdom podcast, we had Congressman Tom Tiffany of northern Wisconsin. We also had a delegate from Vermont. The convention is always about unity within the party. And we asked both of them, do you feel as though the party has unified around this ticket? And both of them said with a resounding yes to that question. I'm sure that you've been talking with Wisconsin delegates down there. Do they feel the same way?
I'm sorry, Steph, do they feel the same way about what was the point?
Do they feel as though the party has reached a point of unity?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm sorry I didn't hear the question the first time around. It's really hard because that house band rocking it here pretty much right behind where I'm standing. So please excuse the delay there. Answering your question, yes, the delegates here definitely feel that sense of unity among Republicans. We heard from some of those former competitors in the primary. And we heard from Nikki Haley, who pretty much said, even if you have some disagreements with the former president, Republicans need to back him for the good of the country. So that's Republican message of unity. Now, the big question is, how is the entire country, Republicans and Democrats, going to come together? And I'm hearing from those who know the former president that message of national unity will take center stage tonight here in Milwaukee.
All right, Jason, you're not just rocking, you're rocking in the USA. with that band. That
No
was
question.
the song playing in the background there.
Perfect choice. Well, thousands of police officers are in Milwaukee to help keep the RNC safe.
Fox 6's Brett Lemoyne is live tonight with a behind-the-scenes look at how a Waukesha County company is helping out. And this is not just a mom-and-pop company. This is a guy with a real-world experience.
Yeah, lots of manpower behind this one, Ted and Stephanie. Good evening. Secure Resources Unlimited has about 200 men and women who are providing supplemental security during the RNC. They're checking out places like this here, empty parking garages that are within the secure perimeter. We walked that perimeter this afternoon with owner Brian Doro. His staff is spread out at nearly 71 locations. Doro says normally only a small percentage of his staff is armed, but that changed after a gunman tried to assassinate former President Donald Trump at a rally in Pennsylvania Saturday. Doro says he armed an additional 24 or so guards as a precaution.
They're looking for suspicious activity. So our officers are trained. They're in uniform, very similar to this one. So they're identified as a security officer. As I've always said, we supplement law enforcement's efforts, and we act as a force multiplier, because when you have thousands and thousands and thousands of people, certainly you need force multipliers.
Now, Doro, of course, worked for Homeland Security in the Trump administration. He says they're constantly reevaluating their security plans. They have been throughout the duration of the RNC, and for this week, that even included severe weather. Reporting live in downtown Milwaukee, Brett Lemoyne, Fox 6 News.
That's something we have not had. We've had intense heat, but we have not had severe weather in this particular area anyway. All right, Brett, thanks so much.
Let's right now get back to the Fox 6 studios with Mary Stoker-Smith and Ben Handelman. What's been going on outside of the RNC, guys?
Been another busy news day here, guys. Thanks. Milwaukee police, they shoot a man wanted in connection to a double shooting earlier this week.
Police say that man fired at officers first. Our Aaron Mabin joining us live in Milwaukee. And Aaron, the shootout happened at a busy gas station?
Yeah, right at this gas station. We're here at the Citgo at Sherman and Capitol, all quiet now. But yesterday, a barrage of bullets were going all over the place. And as we look at the window here, I mean, they covered it with paper there and they covered it with paper here. But you can see there's an evidence marker here. It just shows that there was intense gunfire and police ended up shooting a man. He's wounded right now. Let me take you back to around 10:30 last night. That's when Milwaukee police officers arrived here. And let's talk more about that gunfire, because neighbors thought those gunshots were actually fireworks. All this happened around 10:30. Officers were called here for the report of a shooting. Officers say a man who was at the gas station was in this area, was wanted for a double shooting. Officers tried talking with that man. Police say the man went back inside the gas station. He did not listen to officers' commands. Instead, police say he ended up brandishing a gun. He started shooting at officers and people inside of the store as well. Officers had to get down and find cover. There were also people who were just in this area. They were literally hiding behind a car. Here's some video of that shootout, followed by some sound with Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman.
Suspect ran out of the store and fired numerous shots at officers, at which time several officers returned fire, subsequently striking the suspect. Additional force was used to take the resistive suspect into custody. There were no other reported injuries from the gunfire.
Officers were hurt in this shooting. Again, a 22-year-old suspect was shot. He's expected to be okay. And Milwaukee police say that he was wanted in connection to a double shooting from earlier this week at 24th and Milvina. Let's talk about some body camera footage. The Milwaukee Police Department says that could come out within the next 15 days. We're live tonight in Milwaukee at Sherman and Capitol. Aaron Mabin, Fox 6 News.
What a scary scene that played out last night. Aaron, thanks. Meanwhile, MPD is making changes to its RNC policing policy after out-of-state officers shoot and kill a man on Tuesday. Investigators say the man was holding two knives when police from Columbus, Ohio opened fire. Officers killed 43-year-old Samuel Sharp. His sister sharing these new photos of Sharp today. Loved ones say Sharp was homeless and living in a nearby encampment. There were no Milwaukee police officers involved. An MPD officer will now be with specialty units who are not from the area. And MPD says they want to make it clear outside agencies are not responding to regular calls for service in the area.
Just days ago, Columbus, Ohio's Division of Police released body camera video within hours of that officer-involved shooting. We could see that kind of video from Milwaukee police a lot sooner. Right now, MPD usually releases edited video of critical incidents within 45 days. A new policy, however, would require police in most cases to release the video to family of people hurt within 48 hours. The public would see it in 15 days. The police union sued, tying that policy up in litigation. But now that suit was dropped. The union saying the new video policy will likely take effect, quote, in the near future. The union president says he still believes the policy is flawed and will compromise investigations. Well, those are the top stories of the day. Ted, Stephanie, we're going to send it back to you.
All righty, Mary, thank you for that. And we have a notable person who just actually walked onto the stage, Diane Hendricks of Beloit.
Yeah, she's listed as an everyday person, everyday American is what they try to do this. So that Diane Hendricks is one of the richest women in the state, worth billions of dollars, and been a big backer of conservative candidates in the past. She's getting a pretty good speaking spot here tonight. We're going to listen in on what she has to say.
Wisconsin, of course, is a known swing state.
And that could mean a lot of undecided voters.
Mostly what I'm looking for is how we're going to fill this gap and divide in our country.
What voters hope to hear from the Republican nominee tonight?
And Democrats gathered here in Milwaukee as well. Their message while standing firm to support the Biden-Harris ticket.
And we have had an absolutely gorgeous day today. The question is it going to stick around? I've got the answer for you coming up in your Fox 6 forecast.
Delegates and viewers across the world will see him in about an hour and 15 minutes when he's scheduled to speak. But just walking outside of our booth a short time ago, professional wrestler Hulk Hogan, who is one of the designated speakers tonight. He's now 70 years old, and we will see him when he appears on that main stage at about 7:30 to the 8 o'clock time slot.
What I find interesting here is that we see a lot of people walking the hallways here at Fiserv Forum. I haven't seen one followed by somebody carrying an American flag yet.
Right.
So he obviously is trying to stand out in a way.
You've seen a lot with security. You could
Sure.
You'll see security coming and you'll go, who are they? Oh,
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, they got him. But, Hulk Hogan with the flag right behind him.
Someone's coming.
It's not like you can miss Hulk Hogan anyway.
No.
There's nothing subtle about him.
Nope, there's no blending in for that one.
Right.
Well, ahead of Donald Trump's formal presidential nomination for the Republican Party tonight.
Democrats are also here in Milwaukee. They continue to share their plans and policies with voters. This morning, California Senator Alex Padilla, Ohio Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, and Executive Director of Milwaukee County David Crawley weighing in with their thoughts on the Republican ticket while standing firm with their support of the Biden-Harris administration.
Over the course of the last 4 days, Republicans have offered their vision for the country. And now it's never been more clear that Americans will face a stark choice, a contrasting vision for this country.
During today's news conference, the Democrats made it clear that President Biden is staying in the race and say they support that decision.
Undecided voters are ready to listen to former President Trump speak tonight.
And it could sway which box they tick in November, what they want to hear before making their decision.
And as we head to break, another live look inside Fiserv Forum where Diane Hendricks of Wisconsin is on stage still speaking. We are back in just 3 minutes with more on this final day from the RNC. The RNC is coming to a close here in Milwaukee, and the purple state of Wisconsin undecided voters say they are tuned in to tonight's big speech.
Christina Van Zels is live with what those voters hope to hear from both candidates, and you say you did not have a hard time finding undecided voters.
Yeah, Ted and Steph, we really didn't. There are a lot of people, it seems, that were walking around Milwaukee today who say they are still undecided. They're not sure where they're going to cast their ballot when it comes to the election in the fall. And of course, it depends on who you talk to, right? There are people who feel differently about different types of policies. Some of those undecided voters that we talk to say they're looking at where the candidates stand on tax laws, immigration policies, abortion, and ways to get the country less divided. Other voters say that they don't like either candidate or fall in the middle of both parties with no idea at this point who they're planning on voting for. That is why the RNC and the speech tonight and then next month's DNC in Chicago are so important to these Wisconsin voters who say they're tuned in and really do have to do some research on which candidate will be best for them.
I would listen to each of them and just kind of hear what they have to offer, but I don't know if I'm really looking for anything in particular to sway me.
Right now, like I said, the country is incredibly divided. I've never seen politics so divided, and I would love to see them come back to the middle.
Now, with that political divide, some of the undecided voters say it makes them not really want to vote at all. You heard from that one voter who said she will be tuned in, but not sure if they're looking for anything particular from tonight's speech. So again, a lot to stay tuned in, and people are really undecided here in Wisconsin, it seems, from the people we talked to today. Ted and Steph, will send it back to you.
All right, Christina, thank you so much. So odd to see that river with no recreational traffic on it on a beautiful night like this. You saw the police boats, but that's all that's going to be there until this thing's over.
It is beautiful, though. Hopefully people will get a chance to get outside today, this evening, because, Tom, we are in such a good stretch right now.
Isn't it great? I mean, when that humidity level drops, guys, it makes such a difference. Not only with daytime temperatures feeling very comfortable, but low temperatures being pretty low, a little chilly even for July standards. Let me show you what's going on with a live look over the city right now. Love this shot. This is from our Estabrook Park tower camera looking due south towards downtown. Lake Michigan, of course, right there on the left-hand side of your screen. We're at 71 at Mitchell after a high of 72 today, and the second coolest low temperature of the month this morning at 59. And the reason for that is the dew point being low. The fact that humidity levels are very low now, that allows the air temperature to drop in the early morning hours. So that's why we've had the comfortable mornings as well. The wind is out of the southeast, so it's coming in off the lake, cooling us down just a little bit, but we're all pretty uniform. Temperature-wise, in the low to mid 70s. Water temperatures are in the low 70s right now. And dew points, I mean, to see dew points in the 40s in July, that's pretty rare for us here. So yeah, we got to soak it in while we got it, right? Because we know what it feels like the other way, right? A couple of days ago when dew points were around 70. So we'll take the lower humidity levels while we've still got them. And dew points stay low tomorrow in the 50s. They go up a little bit Saturday and Sunday, nothing too crazy. Low to mid 60s for dew points as we head towards the weekend. So we'll feel just a little more moisture in the air. Well, taking a look at the satellite and radar, I got nothing. High pressure in place, and it is nice, quiet, and comfortable all across the state. And this is wild to see. I mean, look at the upper Midwest. It was so stormy, remember, just a couple of days ago, and now we've got this nice, quiet area of high pressure creating sinking air in the atmosphere. So that suppresses cloud development. And take a look here across the country. You can see on the other side of the area of high pressure, that's where the storms are, right? Surrounding it from the southeast, stretching all the way around to the Intermountain West. Well, let's get you into Sky Vision Plus, show you more specifically what we are expecting here locally. And tonight we have quiet conditions in place with light winds. We drop into the upper 50s to around 60 by morning. A lot of sunshine around here for tomorrow, maybe a few clouds developing by the afternoon. Lake breeze kicks in again by mid-afternoon as well. But as we go into our Friday night, we stay on the quiet side. Once again, nice stretch of weather here on the way. So for tonight, temperature-wise, again, we drop through the 60s this evening. Most areas mid to upper 50s by morning, and then we warm into the 70s as we head towards lunchtime tomorrow. Should be upper 70s in most areas by the afternoon hours on our Friday. Nice looking Friday for us here. Temperatures dropping into the 60s later on this evening, and then we'll settle in the upper 50s to around 60 overnight. 78 tomorrow, up to 80 on Saturday, 81 on Sunday. Now, a slight chance for thunderstorms that will return on Sunday and continue into parts of next week. Low 80s for highs next week as well. Tim Van Voorn is coming up with sports right after the break. Stay with us.
You're watching Fox 6 with Sports Director Tim Van Vooren.
When the Brewers get back to baseball business on Saturday at Minnesota, they'll have a comfortable lead in the National League Central Division. Despite a rugged last week before the break, Crew 13 games above 500. Currently, that's the third best record in the NL.
Our whole team's young. You know, we got a lot of inexperienced guys, and they've done way more than what was expected of them up to this point. So I think as long as they continue to do that, we'll be in a really good spot.
The Bucs get back into NBA Summer League action Friday afternoon against Marquette product Oso Ighodaro and the Suns. Fellow rookie A.J. Johnson drawing praise for some of his play for the Bucs so far in Las Vegas. That's the thing with teenagers. Some of the play is very good. Johnson shows flashes of why he's a first-round draft choice. Can he show more of them? And can he show them more consistently? 3 years after also being a first-round draft choice, Marjon Beauchamp is playing in Summer League again, and he's really still looking to even out his game. Coach Doc Rivers concedes as such during a guest announcing stint on ESPN. Beauchamp could use a well-rounded game against the Suns for his confidence as much as anything. It's summertime basketball in the NBA. It's Republican National Convention time here in Milwaukee. Back to Stephanie and Ted downtown.
It is. Usually this is, where basketball is played, but not this week.
No, different kind of competition this week for sure. We're going to sign off. We're going to be back tonight after Donald Trump's speech with reaction from the Wisconsin delegation. Be sure to join us then, please.
We'll see you then. Enjoy your evening.
Take a seat.
There's no toilet paper over here. I don't have a square to spare. I can't spare a square.
Tonight at 11:05 on Fox 6.
Listen to Senator Tammy Baldwin.
What is your view of the Biden presidency?
It is one of the most successful administrations in generations.
Most successful in generations? Inflation is sky high. Our border is wide open. Drugs flood our streets. The world is in chaos.
One of the most successful